The following broadcast is a presentation of iRacing Motorsport Simulations live on PTR TV. We'd like to thank all of our partners for their support.
He may get the run on the outside, off of the back straightaway. 26 at Hardline, trying to go three wide. No one's with him.
Talking and bobbing and weaving down the back straightaway, looking for a way around. The 5 machine trying to take a look underneath the 3 car. He's gonna dive in down to the bottom. A huge move down to the bottom of the racetrack.
Back bumper. Can anything happen through the tri-oval? Walker Thomas to the inside. Here he comes to the outside. Side by side through the tri-oval. The 14. It's going to be a photo finish to the line. Who's going to get it? Walker Thomas.
Machine coming out of turn number 4. Tiller looking to go 3 wide, almost 4 wide. He's going to try to look for a gap. Bobbing and weaving for the lead down through the tri-oval.
Photo finish.
2 by 2. The 65 gets the win. Hello and welcome race fans, back to PTR TV here tonight with the Hardline Racing League Contender Series here from Kentucky Speedway. I'm Brandon Krutz, Corey Silva joining me as always, also doubling as our tech producer every night. So Corey, here at Kentucky.
Yes, we are at Kentucky Speedway, the pre-paved version of Kentucky, so it is obviously the bumpy version of it. Will give these drivers a lot of challenge, and we are also in the round of 8. 4 drivers have been eliminated from the playoffs after last week's race.
Yeah, absolutely. So it should be an interesting fight here tonight. It's the first round of, well, the new rounds of drivers here. So these guys gonna fight hard, try to lock themselves into the next round via points.
Yes, they will. Of course, we are winding down the season, eventually heading to Homestead in about 2 to 3 weeks' time. All of that will be here on PTR TV, but qualifying is about midway through, and some tight times on the board. Ryan Hart's on the provisional pole, but by 1/100th over Nick Massey. Looks like Massey on track, maybe going for a second lap, it looks like, and nothing better there. But let's see who else is on the speedway. Ronald Head in the 21 machine on the speedway right now, and he qualified.
Got Matthew Bell on the speedway right now.
Bell was very quick in practice. He has yet to turn a lap. Oh, he qualified 9th on that lap, but you can see this how tight the times are. He was 9th on the board, but only a 10th and a half off of the leader pace. So it's going to be a very hard-fought race, very tight times. One mistake might cost you a bunch of positions on the racetrack, as Tyler Hensley in the 5 looks like he'll be one of the last drivers to take a lap here.
Ryan Hart still holding the top of the board right now. It's like Cody Griffin up to the 8th position now.
And we follow Hensley on his trip around the speedway. He is still on lap number 1. Usually a good driver at the front of the pack is Tyler Hensley, so let's see what he is able to do. The only other driver on track is Cody Tabor, and actually Cody Griffin, so after we see what Hensley can do, we'll follow up on them. Hensley to P2, great lap for Tyler. And Cody Griffin is in the 9th spot, and looks like those are the final drivers to take a time, so we will just wait it out just a little bit and get you your starting lineup. And that just about does it. We get these drivers changed over and on the grid here tonight. And let's get to you the starting lineup here at the Kentucky Speedway for the Hardline Racing Series, Contender Series, round of 8, race number 1 at Kentucky. On tonight's pole with his lap of 32.033 is Ryan Hartz, and then on the outside pole, Tyler Hensley. People in the chase still have orange numbers, and they have the asterisk after their names, just so you know that. Nick Massey in 3rd, Briar LaPrade in 4th. In 5th spot is Shane Tarrant, 6th is Joshua Adams. And in 7th we have Walker Thomas, Cole Bagunia 8th, and then rounding out the top 10 is Cody Griffin and Khalil Holmes.
Starting in the 11th position is the 95 of Matthew Bell. Starting behind him, or next to him, is Evan Black. Then is going to be Casey Shue, Ronald Head, Cody Tabor, Jonathan Wall, Jacob Adams, Rusty Cable, and rounding out the field in 17th is Thomas Bressy.
All right, so that is the grid here tonight. And we will just wait a little bit for these drivers to wait for the pace car to get pulled off on the racetrack. It's going to be a 150 lap race here tonight, which is 100 laps around the speedway. The stage break will be at lap number 25. Remember, there is no yellow flags for the stage, but we will award the points, which will be very valuable for all the drivers in the chase. Playoffs, whatever it's called these days.
So these drivers will be, it'll be a long 100 laps here tonight at Kentucky. Pace car rolling off of pit road now. These guys will pull out onto the racetrack, get stacked up, doubled up, and ready for the start of this race.
Yes, they will. Ryan Hart's in the 0-3. Obviously fastest in qualifying, was quick in practice, but let's see. Racing is a lot different than qualifying. Let's see how the drivers are able to cope with the Kentucky Speedway under race conditions. It is a very bumpy track. The line in turn 1 and 2 is usually pretty high, but you will see them all over the place in 3 and 4. And it makes passing a little difficult, but I'm sure these drivers will do their best to make stuff happen as we come down the back straightaway and half a lap from the green flag.
The 0-3 of Ryan Hart's on the inside. Pulled to his outside is the 5 car of Tyler Hensley. That makes up your front row here tonight. Ryan Hart's in the 0-3 will be the control car. The field rolling through turns number 3 and 4 at 60 miles an hour. Pace speed here tonight. Pace car will get ready to make that hard left turn off of into pit lane here, down off of turn number 4. Off it goes, awaiting the green flag now. The 0-3, Ryan Hart's on the loud pedal, green flag in the air.
Massey was very delayed on that start. That really caught the outside line, gave him the advantage as Tarrant had to back off and wait for the 48 to go. That'll allow Hensley and even the 14 of LaPrade to get to the outside.
17 cars roll down through turns number 1 and 2 now down the back straightaway. Hensley taking a look onto the back bumper to 0-3 of Hartz for the lead. He dives it down to the inside. Power move to the bottom of the racetrack.
The bottom of the track is obviously the shorter distance, but it's a lot harder to get the momentum built up. Hensley cannot do anything this time by, but the gaggle of cars is for about third on back.
Battles going on for third on back, as you said, Corey. Looks like a couple of guys maybe trying to fight for that third position. Briar LaPrade and Nick Massey back there trying to gain positions.
LaPrade all the way in the third groove there, but he was able to hold the momentum and make it work as who was that Joshua Adams in the 88 to the outside of Shane Tarrant here, as they were both trying to get past Nick Massey in the 48.
Side by side down through the tri-oval here. Now it's going to settle out. The 88 of Josh Adams pulls out ahead. Up front, Brandon, side by side for the lead. Hensley really drove it into one, had the lead at the entrance of the turn, but could not make the momentum last off corner exit. And Hartz is going to hang on for now. Heading down the back straightaway, Tyler Hensley tries to pull the power move to the bottom of the racetrack. Not going to work that time by Hartz in the 0-3. Going to have the momentum up on the high side.
Yep, Hartz did use that to his advantage, and he will hold on to the lead for now, but the battle is still for third to the 14 LaPrade and the 88 of Adams. Adams to the inside, LaPrade to the outside. And you can see LaPrade trying to use that extremely high groove to his advantage, but looks like Adams will take the low line and clear for the spot.
Adams, the 88 machine, making his way up through the field. LaPrade almost made a little bit of contact with the back bumper of that 88 machine. He drifts up the racetrack. They're going to be almost 3 wide behind him. Shane Tarrant trying to make a move through the center of the racetrack.
It's, as we said, Brandon, it's just really hard to get bite on the bottom and to make it work, so Tarrant had to fall back in line, but 2 by 2. Massey and Griffin to the inside, Lagunia and the 12 of Thomas to the outside. This is from about 6th to 10th positions.
Battle going on back about mid-pack. Nick Massey falling back through the field, and now going to be side by side with the 12 machine of Walker Thomas. Cody Griffin wants a piece of the action in the 3 machine as well.
Yes, he does. Cody Griffin in the 3 is behind both of these drivers, not quite knowing where to go. He's going to try to squeeze it in the middle. Very aggressive move early in the race for Griffin, but it looks like they're going to hold 3 wide off turn number 2.
3 wide heading down the back straightaway. A little bit early for that, I would have guessed, but they're still going to hold it down into turn number 3. Settles out now. Cody Griffin loses his momentum. Now he's got company for the 95 of Matthew Bell.
Yes, he does. Cody Griffin has Bell to the inside, but he's still stuck behind Massey in the 48, who's occupying the inside groove. They're all going to try to go around the outside of Massey. You can see Griffin having the run off of turn number 2. Should be able to get some momentum down the back straightaway, but looks like Massey held his own that time.
This is the battle for the 8th position right now. Still inside the top 10. Cody Griffin pulls a move up on the high side. He's going to take that position away from Nick Massey.
Yeah, Massey has cleared the spot, so we have gone single file for the time being throughout the field as we check back on the front. Even though it looks like Hartz has actually, through all that battling, Hartz has repassed Hensley, who had gotten by him for a little bit.
So Hartz back up at the front of this thing right now. Had Tyler Hensley still right on the back bumper. Heading down off of turn number 4. Now Tyler Hensley doing everything he can at the current moment to try to stick with the 0-3 machine. Tyler Hensley has a little bit of momentum heading down the front straightaway down into turn number 1.
He did have it for a little bit, but it looks like he was not able to make it stick, but actually come off quarter number 2 down the back straightaway. Kind of had a different line there, and that gave him a lot of momentum. Did close in just a little bit, but Hartz does hold on for now. And watch out, here comes LaPrade trying to get by Joshua Adams, also having Shane Tarrant behind him, 3rd, 4th, and 5th.
Briar LaPrade fell back to the 4th position now, but he's got company for the 38 machine of Shane Tarrant. Now heading down the front straightaway here into turn number 1. Shane Tarrant looking to gain that 4th position from LaPrade.
Taryn trying to make the inside work. The inside groove all the way on the yellow line does have less banking, so it is harder to hold the momentum for that reason. So you're really going to have to use strategy to pull those passes off down there. But as we enter 3, you can see everybody running that second groove. Taryn trying to go a little bit lower. Nothing doing that time.
Down off of turn number 4, down the front straightaway now. Taryn falls off the back bumper, LaPrade. But now Briar LaPrade trying to get to the back bumper of the 88 machine down into turn number 1.
And the turn number 1, like I said, all the way to the inside, but nothing doing. Did not work for him that time by, so he will have to fall back in the line. But the 14 of LaPrade is making a really good charge. He looks a little bit higher this time through 3 and 4. Don't think that's going to work, but he is experimenting.
As of right now, this is the best battle out on track. Everyone else kind of made themselves single file. Now LaPrade making a move down to the apron underneath the 88 machine down into turn number 1. They're going to be side by side.
Yes, they are. It looks like Adams washed up just a little bit too much, and that will allow LaPrade to clear for the position. As up front, the gap between the 2 leaders has stayed the same, but it is a very tight battle, rather, not paddle.
It's a very tight paddle?
Yes, it is. It's a very tight paddle, but here comes Taryn trying to get under Adams off turn number 4. He will have a run, dive all the way to the inside through the tri-oval, and pull along side by side.
Down into turn number 1 to the 38 machine on the low side, 88 up on the high side. Taryn trying to gain that position from Adams in the 88. Taryn gonna clear him. Down off of turn number 2. Now Cole Bagunia wants the position off of Adams.
Yes, he does, and Bagunia is looking to the outside, and now he's going to open the door for Walker Thomas. Thought he was going to go to the inside, but the door was shut, and they will all remain single file off turn number 4.
Bagunia making a dive down underneath the 88 machine now. Now Walker Thomas trying to sneak up on these guys as well. The 88 machine falling back, losing some grounds. Now down into turn number 2.
Thomas really working that inside groove. Adams is trying to get the outside to work, but even though he's running the outside, he's not getting more momentum, which is very surprising. He's going to go for the dive bomb, is Thomas, into turn number 3, trying to make that work, try to make it clear, but Adams will prevail, maybe get the run and stay side by side hanging on. Actually, not quite.
No, Adams got a little bit loose there, almost up to the outside wall, forced to lift, but he's going to have some momentum heading down into turn number 1. Not going to be able to go anywhere with it.
No, he will not, and we will go back a little further to the front of the pack where Taryn is trying to gain the 3rd position still over LaPrade, has closed to the back bumper, has stayed there for a while, still trying to find a way by.
Everybody pretty much single file for the most part. Shane Taryn up there maybe trying to gain a position from LaPrade now. He was all over the back bumper, lost a little bit of ground off of turn number 4, now heading into turn number 1, right to the back bumper once again.
See, everyone is at this point trying to find different lines. I mean, I don't think the groove has really worked out too much widened out at all, but everyone's trying different apexes, different approaches. Go back here a little further, we can see Matthew Bell and Evan Black. That's for 10th and 11th on the Speedway, and also a battle at the end of the field. We have who was that Ronald Head, who just got by Casey Shue. That's for 14th and 15th. Casey Shue is still in the playoffs, I believe.
Yes, he is.
Black in the 92 has closed right to the bumper of the 95, and he will look low off of turn number 2. Is trying to pull side by side, didn't have enough momentum, but this is the closest battle on the Speedway.
Still all over his back bumper, heading into turn number 3. Now falls off a little bit, see if he can get the run on exit. Running a little bit higher of a line than the 95 machine that side by. Not going to be able to get anything done.
Yeah, nothing new in that time by. He'll fall back into line. And we are approaching the stage break in about 7 laps. Stage 1 will conclude. Remember, the green flag will continue as long as obviously there is no yellow flag to change that. But we'll go back to the lead and see that Ryan Hartz has pulled out by a second over Tyler Hensley.
The battle still on for the 4th position back here. Briar LaPrade, or the 3rd position, excuse me. Briar LaPrade trying to hold on to that 3rd position back here. Shane Taryn still all over his back bumper.
Yeah, looks like passing is going to be at the premium here tonight, so everyone's going to have to maybe use strategy on pit lane, but here comes staring to the inside of LaPrade. I just don't think it's going to work. There's not going to be a lot of momentum. Here comes
LaPrade chops his nose off down the back straightaway, trying to get around Hensley.
Yeah, that was a power move, and let's see if he's able to make it work down on the inside as we navigate through turns number 3 and 4. He's gonna...
Oh, there's contact, almost a little bit of contact between LaPrade and Hensley. Shane Tarrant having to make an avoidance move down to the bottom of the racetrack.
And here comes Cole Bagunia. He's trying to sniff in this battle. Where is he going to go? Thought about maybe the middle, but he will follow Tarrant to the inside as LaPrade's trying to hold on the outside. Walker Thomas being brought into this battle. 5 cars under a blanket.
Side by side, heading down the back straightaway now is Bagunia and LaPrade. Now heading down into turn number 3. Now Shane Tarrant with a power move to the bottom against Hensley.
Sorry for that little pop-up there, folks, but on the front straightaway we are right now. Shane Tarrant and Tyler Hensley side by side. This is for the second position, all behind Ryan Hartz, who's a second and a half behind this, or rather in front of this battle. Tarrant trying to make it work on the inside groove, but one mistake, he may lose a ton of positions right now.
Now keep in mind the stage ends on lap 25. These guys fighting for points right now.
Points are obviously at a crucial point right now because of where we are in the season for round 1 of the round of 8 in the championship picture right now, as they're side by side, LaPrade and Bagunia right now.
Still side by side, heading down into turn number 1. LaPrade trying to get the momentum up on the high side. Not going to be able to go anywhere with it that time by Walker Thomas. Still just kind of hanging back there right now.
Yeah, Thomas doesn't know where to go. Maybe he's just letting these guys just use up their stuff and kind of maybe just wait for something to happen, as Bagunia and LaPrade still side by side off of turn number 4. Double file formation for 2 rows, but it looks like everyone will single out off of turn number 4.
LaPrade gonna try to squeeze his way down in there. Bagunia maybe forced to lift off the gas just a little bit to let him in. Don't want to cause any incidents this early in the race, but still trying to get that stage point.
Yes, they are. Every point is valuable, as we said, especially in the position we are in at the point in the playoffs. So everyone needs to try to get these positions while they're right in front of them, but there's going to only be 2 laps to go before the stage 1 concludes.
So now the 38 machine underneath the 5 car for position here. I believe this is the 3rd position that they're fighting for.
Yes, it is. Hensley is in very tight quarters racing right now
that was
with
the second
LaPrade.
position. And now they're going to be 3 wide down the back straightaway. Heading down into turn number 3. Bagunia slides up the racetrack, almost makes contact with LaPrade.
I don't know how they made that one stick, but they did manage to do so off of turn number 4. This should be the white flag for stage number 1. Remember, it will stay green after the conclusion of it. Side by side is Tarrant and Hensley. Rather, that battle has concluded. Now it's Walker Thomas and Bagunia.
Side by side down the back straightaway. Now Bagunia falls off. Walker Thomas. Oh, Bagunia slams on the brakes, locks him up down into turn number 3. Avoidance against the 12 machine. He's going to lose a ton of ground.
Yes, he will, and that's obviously not going to help his cause out, as stage number 1 has concluded, and Ryan Hartz will be in the prime position to get maximum points, but for him, he's not in the playoffs, so this really doesn't mean anything for him. First driver in the playoffs is Tyler Hensley.
Man, oh man, these guys not giving any room out here right now. Still battling stages over. Walker Thomas done in a machine of love. Slipping up the racetrack just a little bit. LaPrade. Contact, almost contact with Hensley once again, then almost contact with a 12 machine.
Yeah, that was a very tight call, as Hensley really high on the speedway off turn number 4, allowed those 2 drivers to get by him. He'll try to do what he can to get that position back, as Joshua Adams still lurking at the end of this battle. Bagunia behind this as well, and we're 27 laps into this race. It's almost time to start thinking about pit stops.
The 12 and the 14. Now the 14 manages to pull ahead of the 5 car, trying to gain position up on the high side.
At this point in the race, the high side with the wear on the tires, and it might actually begin to come into effect just a little bit, but not for Hensley that time by. He still remains in 5th position.
Wow. Cole Bagunia back there blinking up a storm. I think his internet is about gone right now. But just a heads up, Corey, I'm hearing that these guys will be pitting soon.
Yeah, just as I thought, we're about lap 30 into this race, so they may be on a 2-stop strategy, perhaps 3, depending how they want to stretch it. But they're going to have to do something if they're going to have anything to compete with Ryan Hartz.
Now the 12 machine ducking underneath the 14. Once again, Walker Thomas made his way from further back in the pack, and now he's trying to gain for that 2nd position.
Also was side by side again was Bagunia and Adams as Adams
almost contact made.
Adams tried shutting the door, but he had to leave it open enough as Bagunia had the position. They're going to dive into turn number 1 and 2. Adams all the way to the top. Bagunia running the traditional line, and I believe he will clear. Let's see what happens off of 2.
Something to point out, Shane Tarrant did pit from that 2nd position, Corey.
All right, so let's see how quickly that brings everyone else to pit road. They don't want to lose too much time. They're about a 1.5 seconds off their opening pace.
I think if these
Here
guys
comes
really
a couple
want
guys.
to pit, they're going to have to get organized. Hensley almost got rear-ended.
Griffin locks it up, gets sideways. Evan Black behind these drivers. The cone for pit speed starts really early here at Kentucky, so it is not a very easy pit road by any stretch.
Still waiting for a couple of other drivers to come in. Ryan Hart still out there in the front of this thing. Still side by side for position once again as the 12 and the 14 machine. These guys gonna have to get organized. They're gonna have to pit really soon. Looks like the 14 machine now coming into pit road.
14 and Adams. Adams dives it in and looks like he does get it low down, as we do see Bressie, who we haven't talked about. He is on pit road along with, who is that, number 33, Khalil Holmes. And your leader,
Ryan Hartz, is on pit road.
Remember, every driver who's still on the speedway is losing 1.5 seconds a lap. So Walker Thomas is still on the speedway along with Massey and Matthew Bell. They're losing a ton of time. I mean, I don't know if they have a long-term strategy if this does go green the entire distance, but actually here we come. Here comes the 12, perhaps maybe just trying to lead a lap. Matthew Bell really dives it into pit lane, and he locked him up. I don't know if he got on pit road under the speed limit, but we will find that out. That leaves Nick Massey in the 48. And from all the hardline races we've covered, Massey has always been one of the drivers to keep it on the speedway later than anybody. So let's see if he has something up his sleeve, or if he's going to come down pit road. He will actually come down this time by. This will cycle your lead back to, actually, not cycle back to, it's going to be in Shane Tarrant's hands right now. How did that happen? Tarrant actually pitted Tarrant pitted 2 laps sooner, Brandon, and that is worth about 3, maybe 3.5 seconds, depending on the exact laps.
Yeah, Shane Tarrant was one of the first cars down into pit lane. But it looks like Hartz is slowly but surely catching him.
Yeah, last time around the speedway, Hartz had about a 1.5 faster lap time than Tarrant. I know some of that is probably due to tires with a couple extra laps on Tarrant, but a lot of it is just Hartz just has the pace tonight. He has everybody beat unless something drastic happens, but we'll see how long Tarrant can hang out there for. Do a quick through the field now that everyone has cycled through, as we're 1/3 distance in this race. We have Shane Tarrant as your leader. We have Ryan Hartz in 2nd, Tyler Hensley in 3rd. We have Cole Bagunia in 4th, Brian LaPrade in 5th, Evan Black in 6th, Joshua Adams in the 7th position, Walker Thomas in 8th. Rounding out top 10 is Ronald Head and Nick Massey. And then just rounding out the cars on track right now, 11th Khalil Holmes, 12th is Thomas Bresci, Casey Shu in 13th, Rusty Capel in 14th, Matthew Bell in 15th, and Cody Griffin last on the lead lap in 16th, and Cody Tabor admin has pulled it off the speedway. The deficit, which was 7/10 for Ryan Hartz, is now less than a third of a second as we approach turn number 3. Obviously, being the faster driver with the better tires on, we expected this battle to occur, and here it is.
Ryan Hartz almost up to the back bumper of the 38 machine now. Shane Tarrant, is he just going to let him go, or is he going to try to defend for that lead?
I think he's going to try to defend the best he can. I just don't know how much he's going to be able to do so, as we know how fast the 03 is, but it is also hard to pass here at Kentucky, so he may put up a fight.
Heading down into turn number 3, Ryan Hartz right up to the back bumper of the 38 machine now of Tarrant. Down off of turn number 4, Hartz not going to have much momentum there, but heading down the front straightaway, right to the back bumper still.
Yeah, he is there now. He's going to have to wait for Tarrant to make a mistake, or perhaps just use that speed he has just to get a better run and just beat him down the straightaway into the next turn. Looks like he got a pretty good run off of turn number 2, gets even closer to the 38, and let's see.
Almost contact made between those two drivers. Really close racing going on right now. Hartz right up to the back bumper of the 38 machine, now looking underneath. They're going to be side by side, heading down the front straightaway.
And how long can Tarrant hold off as the 03 is all the way to his inside, and 38 trying to make that outside work, trying to hold the momentum, but the 03 is just that much faster, and he has the shorter distance around the speedway. They stay side by side down the back straightaway.
Both of those drivers driving it in really deep, now down into turn number 3. The 38 machine with a little momentum. The 03 slips up the racetrack a little bit. Almost contact made between those two drivers.
Tarrant with a really big cut, cuts the nose off.
His nose off
the 03, but he will hold on to the lead. If he keeps doing this, he may burn the newness, burn the good off the 03's tires and maybe keep him in check, but it's still an intense battle. Lap number 40.
Ryan Hartz gonna try to look underneath once again. The 03 car looking to take the lead back from the 38 of Tarrant. Not gonna be able to happen this time by, but he still has the nose in there off of turn number 4.
He had the nose in, but he's learning the problem everybody in the pack has. You just really can't make that bottom work for anything. So you can see he's going for a higher approach in 1 and 2, maybe trying to get a straight exit and get the speed down the back straightaway.
Down the back straightaway, he's gonna look to low side once again, trying to pull the power move. Tarrant blocks him down into turn number 3.
And a 3 and 4, looks like Tarrant actually pulled away by about half a car length, has the tiniest bit of breathing room. Pulls out by about a car length, and let's see what happens in turns 1 and 2. Looks like Hartz is trying to make that high line work. He's trying to get to the right rear quarter panel of the 38, trying to get on the outside, but it's not going to happen. He's going to take another look to the inside and doesn't really dive it into 3, but is able to still pull side by side, drifts up the track just a little bit. They remain door to door, but Tarrant's going to get the run off the outside, and I believe he will still hang on.
Hartz falls back just a little bit that side by, not going to be able to do anything down into turn number 1 now. Right up to the back bumper once again, took a little bit higher of a line that side by, cut the corner down.
You can see Hensley has dropped 3 seconds behind these drivers in the 3rd position right now. Also a little bit of a battle going on between the 7 and the 14th. That's for 4th and 5th, but right now the hottest battle on the track is still for the lead between Tarrant and Hartz.
So they single out now once again down the back straightaway. Hartz still trying to close into the back bumper of the 38 machine once again. Seeing if he can try it one more time.
Let's actually check at the line. You can see the last time very quickly. Let's see who the fastest driver of the top 5 is this time by. I have kind of a gut who it may be. As everybody crosses the stripe, we're going to give the best lap. Who else then? The 0-3, but Taryn was not that far off. And between them on back is another 10th back to 3rd, 4th, and 5th.
Hart's had a big run from the top of the racetrack that time by, now heading down into turn number 3. No choice but to move it to the low side that time. Gets the nose out ahead, but Taryn gonna have a big head of steam on the top of the racetrack once again.
Thought 38 was finally gonna have to give way and fall into 2nd, but he pinched him in 3 and 4, kept the momentum built up, and is able to re-clear on the outside and continue to lead the race.
The 38 of Taryn doing everything he can right now to hold that position out front, wanting the clean air right now. He has the advantage. He can choose what line he wants to run. Hartz can't do anything about it.
And that's the problem. As we said, he needs to be in a certain spot in each turn, and he cannot be there. He's having a compromise and run where he doesn't want to make the pass. Again, he's going to take it to the inside in turn number 1 as we exit the front straightaway. And if Hartz can make something happen, but it looks like Taryn's going to keep doing what he's been doing, pinch him and keep the momentum.
Taryn up at the outside wall. Shane Taryn, heavy contact at the outside wall. Quite a bit of damage to the right side of that race car.
Let's go back here on replay and follow Taryn as he was trying to hold on to the lead there on the outside. He's doing exactly what he's been doing, but the tires are wearing. It must be getting harder for him to run that lane. Not too much contact, but enough to kill his momentum, and he will have to fall into 2nd place.
Wow, it's got to be really frustrating. He would have had a huge run down the back straightaway to hold that lead still. Now that damage, he's at a big disadvantage.
Yes, indeed he is, as we complete another lap, approaching lap number 49. That is now on the board, halfway next time by. No cautions here yet at Kentucky Speedway. We've completed 49 laps. We've had 4 lead changes in this race thus far. Ryan Hartz has started on the pole and dominated the race. He had to complete a pretty hard battle to pass Taryn to regain the lead, but he has done so, and look at the gap he's already pulled.
Well, as we're about to approach halfway here, I think we're going to take this opportunity to go to a quick commercial break. We'll be right back. Stay with us.
Red Bull GRCs are now available on iRacing. I personally put my blood, sweat, and tears into this thing, developing the cars, the tracks, the dirt, making sure it is authentic as possible, and I really think you guys are going to love it. The best part is that this 600 horsepower Volkswagen Beetle is free to all members. So get signed up now and come race me online.
And we're back here on PTR TV, and Shane Taryn has pitted out of the 2nd position. That's going to relinquish the lead. Obviously, well, not relinquish the lead, but he's going to give up that position as Ryan Hart's still on the speedway right now.
Shane Taryn making his way off the pit road now.
So that's going to be an interesting call with 53 laps to go. Most drivers have been on the track for 20 laps, 22-ish laps. Most drivers pitted between lap 30 and 35, so I had kind of expected them to stretch a little bit further to try to go on one tank, but I don't really expect Terran to maybe go 50 laps on a tank and on those tires, but you never know.
No, I'm not really sure if it's even possible, Corey, but...
Because I can never seem to remember the fuel load. What are we working with here today, Brandon?
54% for the Contender series.
Yep, and that is, I usually it's about 50 or so laps, 50 to 60 laps, I believe, on 1.5 milers. So we would go with about 30 to 35 for a fuel run.
Here comes your leader to pit road. Sorry to cut you off, Corey.
Yeah, but well justified. But yeah, I don't think anyone can pit at this point, so and make it. So it's going to be a very interesting call on how they want to split up this last segment of the race.
Absolutely. I would almost say maybe short pit and see if you can, you know, get those fresher tires before everyone else, but it's a tough strategy.
Yeah, it is. We're 45 laps to go. If you do pit again, it's going to be a very short segment to finish the race out, as right now Tyler Hensley was scored as the leader comes to pit road. That will relinquish the lead to Briar LaPrade in the 14. That is his first lap lead of the race.
So Briar LaPrade will get the bonus point for leading a lap now. Briar LaPrade still is a playoff driver.
So now, as we go back to where Shane Terran is on the track, Terran is a lap down, registered at the moment as he's just about to hit the start-finish line. And as reference, Ryan Hartz is about, I'd say, about 2 seconds behind him. So another deficit that Hartz is going to have to eat up.
Absolutely.
Now, Brent, I know you're not so much the strategy guy. I know Evan and I usually are pretty good at this. I know it's not your forte, but if you just run with me on this, as LaPrade pits and I think maybe takes away the strategy that I was about to put out, and the 14 and the 88 to pit lane, that will give the lead to Nick Massey. If these guys can go 35 laps on a tank, all they have to do is stretch it 7 more laps. And they could do that, would be their last pit stop, when everybody else most likely would need another one.
Yeah.
Caution.
Oh, no, caution on the speedway. Oh my.
I see Casey.
The guys that stayed out are probably really happy now, but
is that Casey Shoe? It's the only cars I could see that were a little slower, Shoe and Griffin.
Yeah, those were the 2 vehicles involved, I'm being told.
So we're into turn number 3 on replay, watching them go side by side. The 4 of Shoe wiggled, and he just wiggled up the track and into Cody Griffin.
The 3, yeah.
But back to
doesn't look like they hit anything. Good job to both of those drivers. It does bring out the caution, but they both gather it back up without hitting anything.
We're back to live action right now, and Massey and Evan Black and Walker Thomas, Matthew Bell, and Rusty Capel, those 5 drivers all stayed out. They did not pit yet. Shane Terran in 6th, but luckily for him, he is on the lead lap. I don't see anybody, actually Tyler Hensley, I see him as the first car off the lead lap, but he should get the lucky dog. So the question is, well, the benefit I believe is even the drivers who already pitted, they're going to have to pit again. So the track position is going to be in the favor of especially the guys who have yet to pit once yet.
Yeah, Nick Massey, Evan Black, looks like Walker Thomas. Those guys probably really happy that they stayed out now.
Yeah, of course. Sometimes you catch those breaks and they work out for you. And obviously this seems to be one of those circumstances. So we'll see who gets the race off pit lane. Looks like off pit lane, it's going to be Evan Black beating Walker Thomas. Nick Massey a lot slower of a stop. But Briar LaPrade did stay out. He pitted right at the end of the caution, so he has a couple extra laps on the tires, but he will be scored as your leader right now.
So, yeah, so Briar LaPrade going to be up here as your leader.
Your leader?
Yeah, I had to try to find him to make sure that that statement was correct.
It's all good, it's all good, but we're at lap number 60. We are approaching lap number 61. This race has its first slowdown of the race via the yellow flag. And as we said, we will confirm that the number 14 of Briar LaPrade is your leader. You can see the 3 wave-around cars presumably ahead of him on the speedway. That is Adams, Bressie, and Griffin, as well as Khalil Holmes.
Yeah, LaPrade is your leader currently, and he is still on fresh tires, Corey. He was just pulling out of pit lane when the caution flag flew.
So a perfect opportunity for him, and to take that negative situation and still kind of work it into a situation that wasn't overly bad. So sometimes you catch those lucky breaks.
So these guys will still have to pit again, Corey. Can only go about 30 laps on a tank of fuel. So the strategy is going to be interesting here.
Yes, it will, as there's about 30, as you said, 30 laps to go, and more than that left in the race. So I don't know if you could save this much, but you damn well know those drivers are going to try, and I want to take this quick opportunity to boast for the final time we'll be able to do it. Stay tuned for tomorrow here on PTR TV, as we have our newly retitled, the Hashtag PTR TV Pro Driver Clash, powered by the Hardline Racing League. I didn't struggle to remember what that was on the fly at all. A lot of help from the Hardline Racing League with Cody Tabor helping put that on, grabbing 4 drivers and 2 staff members, all with affiliations in NASCAR. So stay tuned for that. There will be a lot of representation from the Hardline Racing League in that race. So stay tuned about 8:45 Eastern tomorrow night. Stay tuned for what will be a heck of a race at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. Briar LaPrade will take this restart in the first position. He will be the control car. Evan Black, highest position that 92 car has been tonight. Then we have LaPrade, Massey. We go all the way back to 6th position to find Ryan Hartz, who has been the dominant car. Shane Tarrant all the way back in the 9th position. So they will have a lot of work to do, and only 37 laps left to do it. Brandon, take him away.
The field stacked up, doubled up, and ready to go back. Green flag racing now. They roll out of turn number 4. Pace car going to be able to make that hard left turn down into pit lane. On the throttle is LaPrade. Green flag back in the air.
And a very big jump for LaPrade, as he's out by about 3 or 4 car lengths on Evan Black already, side by side with Massey and who is that, Walker Thomas, for 3rd and 4th.
Heading down out of turn number 2 now. They're going to be fighting for positions back there. Looks like things are going to maybe settle out a little bit. I thought they were going to go 3 wide. Let's take this opportunity off the restart to go to a PTR TV Field of Thunder. Hope you like that new segment we just debuted there. Feel the Thunder, bringing up the
cranking the engine sounds for you just for a little bit, but the battle still is going on. We're at third and fourth position as Ryan Hartz is trying to get himself further through the field. He is right to the bumper of Walker Thomas, very close to getting by him, and you can see the leader in his windshield.
So Nick Massey made it up to the second position now. Now Walker Thomas back up to the third position. Here comes Ryan Hartz trying to make his way back through the field, however.
We also have Brandon Evans side-by-side. That is with Bagunia and Matthew Bell. Also side-by-side is Evan Black, who's dropped pretty far back on this restart, along with Tyler Hensley. Shane Tarrant, remember, he was in second, also leading the race for a while back in ninth, trying to get to the outside of Evan Black.
Looks like Evan Black kind of dropping like a rock right now.
Now started in second, didn't get the greatest restart, but now he's going to be clinging to the back half of the top 10 is that number 92 machine, but we'll jump to the fourth position. Again, find Ryan Hartz trying to battle with Walker Thomas still. He's yet to find a way around. And we could say Brian LaPrade has pulled out to about a 4/10 second lead over Massey.
Hartz trying to duck low, trying to get that third position away from Walker Thomas now. Slides up the racetrack a little bit. Gonna try to get the rod down off of turn number 4 down the back straightaway. Not gonna be able to get it done.
Yeah, nothing new in that time by. Thomas doing a pretty good job holding on to that position, the third position that is at the moment. Matthew Bell looks like he is closing in just a little bit, using this battle to his advantage with the two in front of him.
So it looks like Hartz trying to get that position still can't find a way around Corey.
Nope, he is just struggling to make this Kentucky Speedway work to his benefit. You can see it just a little bit. The groove is starting to darken up here, just not too much as we have a small field in comparison, but it is starting to rubber in, and I don't really see the high line making any gains, so everyone's still having to run that single line, which is making passing very difficult.
Down the front straightaway now Walker Thomas pulling away there very quickly, starting to catch the 48 car of Nick Massey.
Yeah, Massey has dropped back a half second off the Pratt, so he will have some company in the form of the 12 and the 03 in about a lap or two, if not sooner than that. Very surprised Hartz is still stuck there in the fourth position, but maybe he can use the 48 to his advantage as a pick.
Well, we've seen it all night, Corey. It seems to be really hard to make a pass against the car in front of you. At the beginning of this race, nobody really knew how to defend against it, but now they just run a little bit higher of a line on entry, and they're set for the rest of the corner. It's really hard for the guy behind them to make a pass.
Yeah, remember when you run lower on the track, if you are running on the yellow line, you are using less banking. Naturally, less banking means less speed, so that makes that line a lot more negative to run on, which is naturally causing a lot of the problems we see as Walker Thomas all the way to the inside apron there in the tri-oval.
Cars kind of starting to get stacked up behind the 48 machine now, starting to develop a freight train here against the 48.
48 and Massey maybe stacking them up here and causing everyone to get back under a blanket. No one's able to get by him, but he is bringing everyone closer together. So let's see here how Walker Thomas decides to act trying to get by him, because if Thomas makes the wrong move, he may lose the position to Hartz rather than gaining a spot.
Hartz has shown that he's had one of the quickest race cars here all night out in front. Now he's just got to try to maneuver around traffic. That's the hard part.
Yes, it is. The old adage, catching him is one thing, passing him is another, and you can see here the fastest car all race stuck in heavy traffic. And now we're going to have more people in the pack. Matthew Bell, Cole Bagunia are at the tail end of this pack, so what was a 3-car battle for position is now maybe even a 7-car battle for position.
Walker Thomas right onto the back bumper of Massey, and Hart's right onto the back bumper of Thomas right now. 3 cars under a blanket right now.
Thomas trying to use the lower line on Massey. And as I said, that just does not give you the momentum off corner exit. Massey pulls him by a little bit, but here comes Hartz with a look. Gets the door shut by him, by Walker Thomas, so he will try to go to the outside, to the inside. Nothing doing.
Walker Thomas really chopped his nose off down the front straightaway that time by Hartz. Maybe not too happy with that move, but he's still going to maybe try again. He's going to back off, maybe cool down his tires a little bit, trying again next time by.
Hartz really taking a deeper entry into the turn. Typically, whenever you do that, you don't get the runoff corner exit, but for the 0-3, he can do whatever he wants. He still manages to close on the 12 off corner exit down the front straightaway, but just nowhere to go with it.
About 25 laps to go now in this race. Time is starting to tick, Corey. Laps are ticking off the board. You know, these guys, they're all going to be trying to fight for a win, but Ryan Hartz has been out in front of this thing pretty much the whole race, and now he's sitting there stuck in traffic. What do you think is going through his head right now?
He's frustrated, but something that I don't want to forget about is I don't think we're done with pit stops yet.
No, we are not.
Drivers have been out for about 18 or so laps. We still have 23. We only can go about 30 to 35, so the question is, are you going to bank on this thing going green as Hartz does dive on the inside of Thomas, does a little dirt track style crossover now. That's going to give the 12 the opportunity.
See if he can hold the position down the back straightaway.
The 12 trying to use the crossover on the 0-3. I don't know if he's going to make it work. The outside is where you want to be, and that is where Ryan Hartz is right now. He'll take the momentum and clear for the position.
Great move by Ryan Hartz in the 0-3 to take that position away.
At the 95 of Bell, he's going to try to look to the outside of Walker Thomas as well as we head into turn number 1. Tries to get to the right rear quarter panel as the 0-3 of Hartz is really in tight quarters racing with Nick Massey for the second spot.
Ryan Hartz really wants to clear this traffic to get a shot. It's your leader, the 14 machine. We know if Hartz can clear, there's a really, really good chance that he'll be able to catch that 14 machine.
We have the first set of pit stops, Brandon.
First round of pit stops going on. Some guys maybe trying a short pit at trying to get the advantage with the tires.
Walker Thomas, Shane Tarrant, Joshua Adams all on pit road here on lap number 79. Let's see if this drags anybody else in any earlier. This would be a pretty good time to pit as it is halfway through the stint.
The Robbins Racing Motorsports guys all pitting together. Now your set of leaders coming into pit lane.
Oh, Ryan Hartz.
Ryan Hartz really slides it into pit lane.
May have had some contact with the Pratt there. If he didn't, it was a whisker.
It was really close. Did he make it on speed?
If he is held in his pit after the left side jack drops, then we will have a penalty. Massey into the wall off turn number 2.
Massey's been flirting with that outside wall all night. Finally made a little bit of contact. See what happens with Ryan Hartz. I'll keep an eye on that. Looks
like Massey's going to come to pit road, and Bagunia is going to stay on the speedway for another lap. He has yet to lead one tonight. This will change this time by. Only other drivers who is yet to pit.
And Hartz is away, no penalty. Oh, almost contact on pit road. They're 3 wide coming off pit road. Down into lap traffic. Matthew Bell gets shoved up the racetrack in front of cars. Almost disastrous.
LaPrat is trying to pass on the access road. I don't know how well that's going to go over, as we'll try to look at that on replay really quickly. Cut me off if anything happens, Brandon, but you can see LaPrat trying to force a 3 wide on the pit exit between Hartz and Bell.
That could have been really bad. Shane Tarrant about rear-ended one of those drivers. I believe it was Matthew Bell that kind of got shoved out onto the racetrack.
Yeah, I'm not sure if Bell was a little indecisive on where he needs to run, or if LaPrade kind of forced him up there, but regardless, that was a very interesting predicament to be in, but all 3 of them still under a blanket down the back straightaway.
Nick Massey comes off pit road. He's got some right side damage now from that wall contact. Ryan Hartz is out in front of this little pack right now.
LaPrade loses some time as he clipped the apron there off turn number 4. A little bit behind this, Hensley is passing Massey, who's Probably going to be a little slower with that right front damage he has encountered. But still waiting for your top 3 to pit. Bagunia, Rusty Capel, and Ronald Head all waiting for them to pit still. Walker Thomas, first one on fresh tires in 4th position, entering turns 3 and 4.
Top 3 still haven't come into pit lane yet, and I can only imagine that that's going to hurt them at this point, Corey.
Yeah, there's not enough laps left right now for them to be able to take advantage of their fresh rubber on their pit stop. So at this point, it's either wait for a caution or nothing. And I mean, as hard as these guys are racing, a caution is not out of the realm of possibility.
Yeah, absolutely, and you never know what's going to happen. And it's one of those strategies where they know that there's a lot of guys faster than them, so if they can, you know, luck out, maybe start up front in one of these restarts, you know, maybe Lady Luck will be on their side.
But we have to get to that point first, and right now we have Taryn, we have Hartz, we have Matthew Bell, Briar LaPrade, all within about a second and a half of each other. Tyler Hensley to the back of this pack. Massey has dropped back at 10th. We have Joshua Adams in 11th, Bressie in 12th. All these drivers are a lap down, still waiting for the top 3 to pit. I mean, they'd be going 42 laps if they stay out, and even if they are staying out, I think they would lose way too much time on tire loss, but we'll see. I don't see any reason to stay out now unless they, as I said, they are banking on that yellow.
So 21 making his way into pit lane now. That's Ronald Head. Ryan Hart all over the back bumper of the 38 machine for the 5th position now.
How many times have we seen this today?
Yeah, quite a bit.
But it hasn't been for the 5th spot, it has been for the lead, but at this point they are shuffled back due to the strategy play, so can Taryn hold them off this time by? But this wouldn't be the battle for the win at the moment because we have Walker Thomas, who is the leader of the Fresh Tire Brigade, just in front.
Yeah, absolutely. Currently, this is the battle for the 2nd position after everything were to cycle through. Trying to take away the 5th position from the 38 machine, the 03, Ryan Hartz. Ryan Hartz has been sitting on a rocket ship all night, but Shane Taryn has been able to keep up with him for the most part, at least been able to hold him off.
Yeah, and if he didn't make that one mistake off of turn 2, who knows, he might have held him off the entire time. Really chops the nose at the tri-oval.
Wow, almost contact there down the front straightaway. Now heading down into turn number 1, the 38 machine trying to keep the 03 in his mirror.
To bust out an old Brandon adage, don't look now, because the 95 of Matthew Bell is knocking on the back door of the 03 of Ryan Hartz, and now we have a 3-car battle for what is at the moment, the 4th position.
Walker Thomas making his way around to the 7 machine of Cole Bagunia.
All of these drivers are getting by Cole Bagunia to get them on the lead lap. Everyone has been registered a lap down, but once they pass Bagunia, they will be back onto the lead lap.
Yeah, that's really hurting Bagunia now.
So Bagunia's strategy was kind of wait and see what was going to happen with a yellow flag. But now that these drivers are back on the lead lap, he still would be in a good position because everybody would most likely pit again. But, I mean, I don't know. Is he really going to try to go 41 laps? I don't know.
Couple of drivers I know are only a couple of laps short last time I checked.
So
but
Bagunia,
it's still, I don't think anybody can make it at this point of the race.
Bagunia, I mean, we don't want to create drama that's going to get changed, but Bagunia last time by ran a 33.8. Capel, who is still on the track, ran a 34 flat. That is a second slower than everybody else. Now, that's not that much slower. Remember how old the tires they have are. So if he...
Yeah, absolutely.
So if he's trying to save fuel, I would think he'd be 2.5 seconds off the pace. He still has an entire lap to play with in 10 laps in the race. So if he's trying to go hypermiling right now, he is going way too quickly.
Hartz dimes it down underneath the 38 machine now, trying to pull the power move. They'll receive the 10 to go signal this time by.
Well, they already got it. We're going to be on 9 to go. As Bagunia, remember, Bagunia is the leader he hits the stripe, and we're gonna go on board with him because he.
Oh, that's right.
I'm pretty sure Begunia is hypermiling right now because he is. You could just hear how slow he's going right now. On the back straightaway, he doesn't even get to 7,500 RPMs is all he's getting to. And let's go as a reference to, oh, here he comes. There goes that drama. Begunia to pit road and locks him down, gets him sideways. So Begunia's yellow flag strategy call didn't work, but Brandon, this is going to be the battle for the win right now.
Yeah, absolutely, it will be.
And this is 6 cars within a second of each other. 8 laps to go. This is for the win in the playoffs.
So Walker Thomas is out front of this pack right now.
Thomas in the playoffs. Taryn is not. Hartz is not. Bell is not. Next driver is LaPrat and Hensley at the end of this pack. So how nice is everyone going to be to Walker Thomas? But I don't expect them to be that nice.
No, at the end of the day, you're still going for a win, Corey, and you're not going to just let that slip.
Yeah, it looks like there are 2 teammates, I believe, with Taryn and Thomas, but at the end of the day, as you said, this is a race. We're going for a win. You obviously want your team to succeed, but you got to kind of win your own battles. But here comes Hartz, looking left, looking right, trying to get by Taryn.
The freight train against the 12 machine right now. Everybody wants to try to get by as an opportunity for this victory. Shane Taryn looking up on the high side, not going to be able to get anything done. Now pushing it down the back straightaway.
And he needs to get this done soon because we know Hartz is quick, but Hartz has also been struggling to get by these drivers. So as we're going to approach 6 laps to go in this race, the iRacing cutoff lap is about 5 laps to go. Taryn looks all the way to the outside, trying to get to the right rear quarter panel of Thomas, and I believe he's going to do so. Entering 1, drives it in really deep.
Power move up at the top of the racetrack that side, behind the 38 machine. This is for the lead. Side by side, down the back straightaway.
As we head into turn number 3, Hart's trying to fill in the gap on the top around Walker Thomas, but Thomas is trying to bite as good as he could on the inside, just cannot do so. And we're going to take 5 laps to go, and Hartz is going to clear for 2nd position as well, and this is going to be the battle for the win, the 2 drivers who have been up front the majority of the race.
Ryan Hartz has his eyes set on what is your leader now, the 38 of Shane Taryn, out front of this race.
Now we know Taryn knows how to be in this position. He made a mistake last time. It cost him the race. He hit the wall off turn number 2. If he doesn't hit the wall, Brandon, do you think he can hold him off?
I think so. I don't think Hartz is going to be able to make any moves, but the question is, will Hartz be afraid to use the bumper? We know he can get to the bumper. Will he be afraid to move on with the racetrack?
There's nothing on the line really between these 2 drivers as they're not in the contention for the championship, so who knows? Why not? You don't want to race dirty, but you want to go for the win as Hensley and Hensley and LaPrat rather side by side for 5th and 6th positions.
Those drivers, there was almost contact between those 2 drivers back there.
As Hensley slams the door, shuts him off turn number 4.
That was definitely contact.
Crossover, LaPrat back to the inside of the racetrack, trying to get something going. Still nothing going on up front, but we'll follow this battle until something happens up front. There's 3 laps to go. Off of turn number 2, LaPrat washes up the track into almost into Hensley. Almost some dooring going on down the straightaway.
Not giving any room to Tyler Hensley right now.
This is
he slides up the racetrack. They're going to push each other up the racetrack. Now keep in mind, this is back here for, I believe it's just the 5th position.
Yeah, 5th and 6th, but these are this is the playoffs on the line. These are the 2nd highest playoff drivers in the race, but there's 2 laps to go. And up front, Taryn has managed to hold off. LaPrat washes up the track significantly. He's trying to use the 8 wheels is better than 4 tactic on Hensley.
These guys battling out hard. maybe a little bit of tempers going on. LaPrade really slides off the racetrack again.
Well, it's going to be the white flag in the air, and here comes Hart. He has a run to the inside, not quite, but he is there. He's close enough.
Heading down into turn number 1 now. Not quite going to get there.
Yeah, he lost some momentum, but let's see if he can get a run off turn number 2. Looks like he got a little bit loose, lost some momentum, and we're going to head through 3 and 4. I think he's too far back to do anything.
The number 38 machine, Shane Tarrant, out front of this thing. Ryan Hart couldn't quite get it. Kentucky Speedway Contender Series winner, the 38 machine, Shane Tarrant.
For the 3rd position at the stripe, nearly a photo finish, Matthew Bell will sneak into the 3rd position. And Tyler Hensley managed to get by, well, managed to hold off LaPrade. I think there may have been some kind of a wreck going on between these two.
Yeah, I believe Tyler Hensley ended up getting into the wall.
Gonna go back on PTR replay and try to see what happened between those two. We know how tight that battle was.
Tyler Hensley got into the wall by himself. LaPrade just wasn't able to quite get back to him. He blocked him. LaPrade actually spun it across the line. Hard contact the outside wall.
Well, interesting finish here, but a great finish nonetheless. We saw an extremely good battle between a lot of drivers up front. We'll step away really quickly and get assembled for the post-race show, so stay with us. And we're back here on PTR TV for the post-race show after a hell of a finish we saw at Kentucky by the Hardline Contender Series. We've grabbed your top 3, and we will get this post-race show started with 3rd place finisher Matthew Bell. All right, Matt, it was a great race overall. Only I believe it was 1 caution in the whole race. So talk about how it was with the handling and how your race was overall here at Kentucky. Yeah, so how was the setup tonight? We saw a lot of no really handling problems visible, but saw passing was really difficult. So what was that like out there? Yeah, then quickly just kind of bring up, how was that battling at the end? We saw a lot of battling, pretty much first through like 6th or 7th was under a blanket there those last 12, 15 laps. All right, man. So you finished third here tonight. Who do you want to give a shout out to?
I've been practicing a lot. Shane, Abby for watching the streams every time, and of course you guys for streaming it.
All right, thanks, man, and hopefully we'll catch you next week.
Thank you.
All right, and now your second place finisher. Do want to apologize. I think there was a little bit of audio issue there with Bell, but we'll get that sorted for the remainder of the interviews. Here is Ryan Hartz. All right, Ryan, you had a really good car. You led the good portion of the race. You seemed like you could pull away and just drive off into the moon set, if you will, but it looked like traffic was your demise here. Talk about that and how it played out for you.
Yeah, I mean, first off, I want to say that car was bad fast. I mean, on previous tracks, on previous games, I mean, Kentucky has never been one of my favorite tracks, but to come out here and lead that amount of laps and get a podium finish, my first podium finish of the year, believe it or not. But yeah, traffic was so hard to pass here tonight just because of the setup being a little bit more tight than loose, and the outside was the only way you were going to pass. But
yeah, so obviously that was the case, and with the minimal cautions we had, how did your strategy? Did you have a full green flag strategy played out in your mind if this race went all the way, or talk about how that came into effect for you?
On that first green flag run, when I won the stage, I didn't really have anything in mind because I didn't keep track of how many laps I went. But when that second caution came out around lap 60, I knew I had to pit on lap 80 in order to get even tires to make it to the end. And it pretty much worked. I mean, I got a podium finish, and I thought I was a little bit faster than Shane, but I'm definitely not going to move him like that because he's a great race car driver and he deserves it. So
yeah, that's a very respectful attitude to have. So you walk out of tonight's finish with a second place. Who do you want to give your shout outs to?
I just want to thank IRLC Motorsports, Matthew Bell. You know, we've gained so much speed in the past few weeks. For us to finally get a podium again, it's a lot because I've been having this bad luck for the past few weeks. But I just want to thank Matthew Bell for giving me a lot of tips. Hartz Corporation as always, and you guys for making the broadcast.
All right, thanks for that, man. Congrats on the second, and hopefully we'll talk to you next week.
Thank you, guys.
All right, and now Brandon will talk to the victor tonight, Shane Taryn.
He's out of the race car now, winning here at Kentucky Speedway. Shane Taryn. Shane, man, how do you feel?
I feel good after getting a lot of second place finishes the last few weeks. It was pretty good to finally win one.
Well, you and Ryan Hartz have been battling pretty much this whole race, and you know, what was it like trying to hold him off?
It was definitely a one-line racetrack. It was really, really tight, but I knew I had to hold him off as much as I could before I could pit, so he wouldn't get too far ahead of me, because I knew he was faster than me. But I had to short pit. It was the only way I was going to beat him. And yeah, I can't really say much other than this track was just one-line racing and pinching. Really, that's all it really was tonight.
Tell us a little about your ups and downs this race. You know, obviously you come home with a win, but we saw you maybe get into the wall a couple times tonight. Is there any point of this race that you thought maybe it was going to slip away from you?
Yeah, I came into this race not even thinking I was going to win. I only had one lap of practice because I was messing with my paint scheme, so it wasn't going to load. Then I qualified 6th, or 5th. Yeah, 5th, and I was like, oh, that's not bad. And then when I got into the wall with Hartz, I thought it was done. Because from looking at my damage, I thought it was going to be like 30, 40 seconds, and it only ended up being 7 seconds. And then I was like, okay, cool, I'm still in it. And then the caution came out, and I came back out of the pits in 9th, and I was like, yeah, this is not happening. And it ended up just playing out somehow. I took 2 tires, and it worked out.
Well, absolutely fantastic performance here tonight. And is there anyone that you'd like to thank and give a shout out to?
Yeah, I want to thank you guys for, you know, broadcasting. I always have it on when I'm racing. It's always fun to see whenever the cautions come out. My sponsor, Elo Controllers, iBog Power, and then my team, Robin's Racing, and of course Walker and Josh. Even though Josh is an Eagles fan, but
boo.
All right, Shane. Well, awesome job on your victory here tonight, and your winner here tonight, the driver of the number 38 machine, Shane Taryn.
Thank you.
All right, so that is the post-race show. We talked to the top 3 finishers, so let's wrap up tonight's coverage with the final results here at the Kentucky Speedway. Number 38 machine, Shane Tarrant, your victor. Ryan Hart second, Matthew Bell third. We had Walker Thomas fourth, and Tyler Hensley rounding out the top 5, and then rounding out your top 10, Bryla Brad, Josh Adams, Nick Massey, Thomas Bressy, and Evan Black.
Finishing in 11th was Cole Lagunia, then it's Kyle Holmes, Cody Griffin, Rusty Capel, Ronald Head, Casey Shue, Cody Tabor, Jonathan Wall, and rounding out the field is Jacob Adams.
All right, so it wouldn't be a broadcast without your sponsors, and Brandon will take care of those for us.
Absolutely. Air Movement Fabrications is a family-run business formally established in 2012. With over 25 years of experience in the ventilation industry, we offer a wide range of services. This includes ventilation, extraction, canopies, and much more. If you're in the Nottingham, UK area, Air Movement Fabrications is the ventilation service to trust. Also, Krutz Custom Graphics, custom racing shirts, hero cards, paint schemes, and much more. From local racers to big race teams, we've got your back. Based out of upstate New York, Krutz Custom Graphics is the motorsports design specialist. Also, iBog, iRacing Broadcast Overlay Graphics, custom graphics, coding, and theme design for iRacing's 2 main overlay systems, ATBO and IRTBO. If you're a broadcast company looking to make your channel shine with custom overlays, talk to Jason Allison with iBog, iRacing Broadcast Overlay Graphics. Also, be sure to check out our Patreon to keep broadcast quality high and costs low for league owners. We need a little help from the fans. Check out our Patreon at patreon.com/PTRTV. If you become a patron, you'll get rewards that vary depending on how much you donate. Become a patron at patreon.com/PTRTV.
And of course, waiting for tomorrow night. You got to check it out. Tomorrow night is NASCAR. Well, actually, I'm going to take that back because we had to change the name due to licensing rights. Tomorrow night is PTR TV Pro Driver Clash, powered by the Hardline Racing League. We have 4 drivers and 2 NASCAR affiliated staff members that will be joining us here tonight, tomorrow night at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. They will be racing against drivers that participate in all of the PTR TV leagues. It'll be a hectic battle, about 48 drivers fighting for 24 spots, trying to make tomorrow's race over $200 in prizes. Check it out 8:45 tomorrow night on PTR TV. Should be on the iRacing Live portal as well. So signing out of the booth tonight is Corey Silva and Brandon Krutz. Have a great night, everyone, and we'll catch you next time.
Have a great night. Catch you next time.